Hello, everyone. Bonjour, as they say in the France. Welcome to Lost Caravan RPG and our game of Eat the Reich, a two-part game that uses the new Eat the Reich system from Rowan Rook Deckard, written by Grant Howitt with art by Will Kirkby, which you saw in that trailer that Safi made, which was so good. And also, you should commission Safi to make trailers for you too. But here is let's get down to brass tacks because we've got stuff to do. We've got Nazis to kill, we've got blood to drink, we've got sexy vampires to be, and so we should keep moving in that direction. I'm Doc Rimbo. I am your GM for this two-part series. We'll have one today and one week from today, one in a week from today. And I use he, she, or they pronouns, and I'm just super excited to be here with this amazing cast of Nazi killers. So we'll go around, we'll go in the order that you see on your screen. I'm going to let everybody introduce themselves, tell us who you are, tell us a little bit like the name of who you're playing, what their deal is, and anything else that we need to know. So I'll start with the person directly to my left, which is Adrian. Hi, Adrian. How are you? Tell us about who you are and what vampire you are playing today.
Right. Hi, everybody. I'm Adrian, Sundance Kid 007 on the socials, and today I'm playing cowboy, vampire cowboy by the name of Chuck. Funny guy. Everything is good about him except for the fact that he's a cannibal. So there's that.
Right. Well, are you a cannibal if you're a vampire? This is a philosophical.
That was the thing. It made it seem as if I was sort of a cannibal before I became a vampire. Yeah.
I'm going to leave that up to you as you craft the backstory of Chuck from what you have. So we can do TBD on cannibalism. Let's keep moving. And over there is our good friend Safi Pie. Hi, Safi. How are you? Who are you playing?
Good. I'm playing Nicole, who's a demolitions expert, packing a whole lot of heat.
Yeah.
And ready to shoot down some Nazis.
Yes. Very good. Thank you, dear. Thank you for being here. Let us go around the horn to my friend Susie. Hi, Susie.
Hello.
Tell us about who you're playing.
Hi. I'm playing only Delphine Louise Marie Polnareff, but you can call her Abigail. Long story, involves the Wild West and a gunslinger. She's a very fancy lady who very much hates Nazis and wants to eat them all.
Mm-hmm. Good. And then over finally to our fourth commando, Holly. Hi, Holly. Yeah. Everyone looks so good today. I can't even. Okay, go ahead.
I am playing the Astrid character, but I have redistributed her name to be Gemma, and she's an ex-fighter pilot that has been ultimately infected by a magical parasite that has also turned her into a vampire. I mean, she's like, cool, it's fine. I get to kill Nazis, so.
You know, it's like there's pros and there's cons, right? To being infected with a magical vampire parasite in the wilderness. It's just how it happens. Yeah, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the system, this is a system that uses the Havoc engine. It is just craziness, and it's all nonstop hyper-violent stuff like that. So if you're not into violence, if you're not into blood, this probably isn't the best stream. If you are into killing Nazis and being cool while doing it, this is the right stream. So feel free to stick around. In this system, everyone has a character. We have preset characters. There are 6 base characters in Eat the Reich, and there's always wiggle room. So some of our characters have just changed their names to embody the spirit of who they think they are, but all that other stuff will be revealed in time. Okie doke. I think we have a lot to do. So with no further hoopla, we should jump right in. Does that sound good to everyone?
Yes.
Excellent. Let me put on some mood atmosphere sound. Oh, there it is. That's good. Yes, it certainly seems as though you're in a plane of some kind. That works. The year is 1943. Europe is at war. Illuminated by the dull red lights of the bomber's hangar, Commander Slate paces back and forth on the steel plates of the plane's floor. The last 6 months have led us to this point. This is our final move. Your mission is to kill Adolf Hitler in his Zeppelin atop the Eiffel Tower. 4 reinforced steel boxes hang from the roof. From behind bulletproof glass in the lids, eyes stare forth with fierce determination. Your eyes. It's hot as hell down there, folks. Once you arrive, you'll be swarmed with Nazi scum until this is done and dusted. She walks over to a large lever mounted toward the front of the bomber. Godspeed, and good luck. She salutes the drop coffins and throws the lever. The hatches open and you plummet from the plane toward the lights of Paris at dusk. Somewhere below, we see a shopping center. This is a magazine or magasin in the French terminology. These are like where shopping malls. Well, if you count the Agora, yeah, but these are like where shopping malls came from, right? These are large, several city block long constructions that have different shops and kiosks and stuff inside. This one specifically, the Grand Magasin Martin, is one of the locations of the first escalators in Paris. And it is all built around this central courtyard type of area with a glass dome in the ceiling. People come back and forth, go up and down the stairs. They are stopping in little shops. Some of them wear the uniforms of Nazi officers off duty. Others look like civilians. Most of these are German citizens who have come to settle in Paris in this alternate reality toward the end of the Second World War. I put a little picture up there if you always want to see what like one of those magazines might look like at the turn of the century. So everyone is enjoying their day and just having a lovely time when through the roof a steel box crashes into the ground. I'm going to roll a d4 to determine who walks out of that steel box, if it's okay with you. Rolled a 1, and so that means that Susie, according to my screen here, the first box to drop belongs to Abigail. Mm-hmm. As you hit the ground, you are turned into paste from the impact, and then sacred nun's blood releases through the internal structure of the coffin and regenerates you immediately. What do we see as Abigail emerges from the coffin?
You see a quite slender, maybe 30-year-oldish white woman stand. She has long blonde hair that's tied into a very intricate, like, crown braid. And she is wearing a very well-tailored, put-together, like, hunting outfit. So, like, tweeds and very tailored blazer. She stands up. There's a mirror in her coffin, which she doesn't appear in naturally, being a vampire. But she uses it nonetheless, old habits die hard, to reapply her lipstick, which has obviously vanished as she has turned to paste. The light from the little slit in the drop coffin casts that perfect Morticia Addams light across her eyes as she sort of looks out a little bit, pops open like a mist as she steps forward, and she takes a deep breath. She goes, Paris, la cité de rêve, I'm home.
Fantastic. She steps out into this shopping center, basically. And the one thing that Abigail knows more than anyone else in the group possibly is that buildings like this are kind of maze-like. There's lots of corridors and tunnels, but your objective, and this is for all of you here at the Grand Magasin Martin, is to find your way out and to just sort of make a cool entrance while you're doing it. But as Abigail first crashes in her big thing, kablam, it goes. Well, I'm going to play the sound effect again. And emerges, makes her entrance. You see that maybe you hear more than anything else. You hear the sound of a car screeching to a halt at some exit to the building and people getting out. So you know that there are Nazis incoming. For the time being, we'll just make that her intro, and we'll come back to her in just a second. The next person to land, well, let's see. Can roll again. That would be Chuck. So the next coffin to drop happens. We'll say that there's like a line of wardrobes. You know what I mean? Just lined up in like those big sort of tall makeshift closets that they've got. And one of them is just crushed utterly to pieces as this drop coffin just lands in its place like the TARDIS. And as Chuck comes out, what do we see?
So, can't talk with that, but I'll try my my Western accent. I don't know how.
Yes, please. Let her rip. Let her rip.
So, Chuck, you see Chuck as the door of the coffin like falls off. His arms are crossed, and he's holding his two favorite possessions. It's Betsy and Maria, his two guns, and he just comes out, and he notices all these fancy furs, and he starts to grab one. Maybe he might use it later. I don't know, or we might give it to Abigail, knows that she likes fancy things. So he's, cowboy hat, the shirt sort of bloody, torn in parts there. Got the suspenders. He's got the chaps. He's got the spurs, a trench coat, and then if you look closely on one of the lapels of the trench coat, he's got like a human ear that's pinned onto there. And so his skin is sort of like grayed. If you take a closer look, he's got like it's his skin is starting to fall off. So you might see a little bone and stuff. But yeah, Chuck's a fun guy, and he always has a cigar.
Does he say anything to Abby as he bursts out of this coffin and starts shopping?
Oh, hey Abby, got a fur here for you if you need it for later. If you lose yours.
She sort of like straightens her outfit a little bit. She's a bit prim and proper. So Chuck's like, loosey goosey vibe puts off a little bit, but she smiles and that's very kind of you, Chuck.
All right, there's that one. Next up, I'm just gonna roll a d4. 1 to 2 is Holly. 3 to 4 is Seppi. All right, Holly. Gemma comes out. She has a rough landing. We'll say that just for fun. Her drop coffin lands on like a marble staircase and then just sort of slides down it. And then Astrid emerges fully reformed. What do we see when we see Astrid, or Gemma, as she is known now?
Yes. So with Gemma, she she pops out and she's like, could have literally landed it better with my eyes closed. and she's like, and she says, I mean, I guess we're here. So she's like, and she has, like, anytime she turns, you kind of catch this glint of like a shimmer in her skin. Her eyes are kind of like, I won't say they glow yellow, but they definitely don't look like normal colored eyeballs. Like, you can tell there's something that's a little different. She's rough around the edges. She doesn't care about much, and she is an apex predator. That is literally what she does.
Amazing. So comes out, and yes, a former fighter pilot, so has a lot to say about the way that this drop was handled.
This landing was shit. Like, she's like, and so she looks around and she's like, everyone's here? No. She's like counting. Yeah, all right. And she's like, starts looking around like.
You got 1, 2, 3. You don't see Nicole, but meanwhile, at that moment, we'll say that we cut away and we see a few an infantry squad. So 10 Nazis running down a hallway, and they must be on a different floor because like they stop at this doorway that looks like it's for an elevator, like it's got like the grate. But just as they like push the button, we hear our final as Nicole's drop coffin like lands in place of the elevator, and then it slides open and Nicole bursts out face to face with these Nazis. Staff, what do we see? And if you want to take an action, you can have our first move of the combat.
Right, so Nicole pushed herself up and out. She's like, shit, I'm so sorry I'm late. And she's got like this bobbed, like raven dark hair. She's got like a commander's hat on. And she's just adorned with all these different belts and straps, which have like different grenades and knives, and little hand cannons and pistols and shit. It's like she'll never leave home without like all her guns and things. She's like, oh,
Right.
fuck, I'm so sorry. I got a gift for you. And then she just pulls like this rhino clip out and just like,
Oh, amazing.
in the face. Present.
All right, here we go. We are going to do some combat stuff. So you want to shoot Nazis.
Yeah.
Which I think is completely valid. So what we're going to do is you on your character sheet, tell me how we're going to do this math. What skill are you going to use to do this?
I think shoot.
I think shoot's probably your best bet. Right. Mm-hmm. And do you want to use one of these weapons listed on your character sheet?
I think this any other one. It's not even my favorite.
You got a sawed-off Enfield rifle. If you want to do something at close range, you could do. Or if you want to say, I have a pistol, that's fine too. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you just using a gun. Using a gun. I'm gonna say this is close quarters, so I'm gonna add one more to your gun too. So that is 4 from shoot, 2 from the gun that you're using. And are you going to aim for any of your special abilities if you roll a 6?
Yeah, can do.
Okay. So you can possibly, if you roll a 6, choose one of those and one of those 2 and tell me what you want to do. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Roll 6d6 for me.
6d6.
6d6.
Whoops. Oh.
What do we do? Oh, so close. /R 66. Or you can just use the dice roller thing on the left there too.
There's a dice roller where?
Okay, so you have to put 66 all together in one thing. /R and then 66 as one.
All is one thing.
No spaces, yeah.
Sorry.
We got this.
Hey.
So close.
Can you do it for me, darling?
Yes, I can. I can do it for you. 66. So there we go. We have a couple ones in there that's are failures. A 3 also not a success, but you have a 4, a 5, and a 5. So no criticals, no double successes. You have 3 successes to work with. Now these guys, I'm going to roll for them, have a attack rating of 3, which means I'll roll 3d6, and they rolled 2 successes. So you can use 2 of yours to negate theirs to use defense, and then you have 1 left over to do something else if you wish. Or you can take an injury and negate 1 of them and do 2 other things, that sort of thing. So how many successes are you going to spend on their 2 successes to negate them?
I'm going to use 2, so I'll level it out.
Okay. You still have 1 left. And so what that means is when you have a success left over outside of, defense and things like that, you can do a series of other things. You can advance the objective, so getting closer to finding your way out of this mall. And you can describe how that happens. You can cut a threat's current rating. So their threat right now is I think it's a 6. And if they take them down to 0, they're out of the fight for a round. So you could take that down to a 5 if you want, just sort of hamper them. You could feed on Nazi blood. So we can say that if you want to shoot at them and then just dovetail it into sucking their blood, you can do that. Or you can, in other cases, you can activate a special, but you don't have a 6. So what are you feeling? What does Nicole do?
I think she's kind of thirsty.
Describe it
right.
for me. Give me the juice. Give me the juice.
So she's gonna pull out this pistol. Like I said, oh shit, sorry, I had a gift for you. Wham bam, like first one straight through the head. And she's like, oh, I don't need a straw now. So she's gonna like drink out this guy's head.
Fantastic. So you just blow this guy's head open and then just Capri Sun the rest of it. Excellent. Fantastic. I will say that you get 1 blood. Make sure you add that to your blood inventory. You're 1. And then the other Nazis, sort of disturbed by this, go running into that main center room where the others are all waiting. Abigail, do you want to kill some Nazis?
I would very much like to kill some Nazis, please.
Okay. How do you do so?
We're gonna use my con. We're gonna charm some boys before we kill them, which is Abigail's specialty. She's very charming. So, yes, I think that's what I'm gonna do.
I love it. I love it.
Oh, so that would be 4d6, I believe.
4 from con. Are you going to use any equipment here?
I don't think so. Not right now.
Okay. Alrighty. So that is a 4d6 roll from you then, unless you've got something else that would count. How do we do?
I got...
Ooh, tasty. You got 2 regular successes and 1 crit, so that's 4 successes total. Let me roll their 3d6 that... Okay, so 4 and 6, but they don't get criticals, so they only have 2 successes. So you have 4 and they have 2. Tell me what you want to do with those 4 successes.
So she's going to, in the aftermath of everything that's happened so far, naturally there has been some splash zone action of blood, that's viscera and gore. She has beautifully shiny, polished boots. She's going to go up to a Nazi and she's going to kick him to the ground and put her foot on his chest and say, my boot, could you clean it for me? And then naturally her eyes glow with this like supernatural charm that she has. He will, clean her boot. And then she reaches, because casually they're very next to a crystal store where you would buy fine drinkware. Sure. She plucks off a stem of a champagne glass and she's gonna, with her fingernail, stab him in the neck, drain his blood, and have a little sip.
Fantastic. So it sounds like what you're doing here is you're going to reduce their threat. So you're going to use 2 to cut out any damage they would do to you. Yep. You're definitely going to drink. What are you going to use that other spot for? Are you going to use another drink, or are you going to lower the objective rating?
Let's lower the objective rating because it's quite a scene. Okay. So maybe it scatters some pedestrians, so it clears the zone a little bit, gives us a bit more breathing room, more thinking space.
I would say that this is probably we'll say that the German civilians who now live here in France have probably heard stories about vampires, but this is the first time that you've been like vampire commando, drop in and like drink this dude's blood. So we're going to say that clears the room. It gives you a much better idea of what's going on. So your objective is now at 5. And Abby gets a little bit of blood there as she drinks from this dude. So the Nazis keep on coming. And so let's say, Chuck, you are up next. Chuck, here come the Nazis interrupting your shopping montage. What do you do?
Well, Chuck's all ready. He's got Betsy Maria ready, so he is going to fire at those Nazis with Betsy Maria.
Woo!
And I think
yes, Undead King.
I'm gonna go shoot.
All right. So you got a 3 and shoot.
Yeah.
You're using Betsy and Maria. Do you want to challenge one of them to a duel to add another die?
I'm gonna save the dueling for later.
Okay, up to you.
So I'm gonna do 4d6.
Well, actually, it would be 4. You're right, 4. How do we do?
Okay, so I got a 1.
Yeah.
So that means Chuck, when he rolls a 1, he gets blood.
That's true. Yeah. Gain 1 blood if you roll any 1. So you get 1 blood, and then you also have a critical success in there for 2 more. Let me roll for them to see how they do. They have one success.
Oh, okay.
So you can negate one of those and still have one left over if you want.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna negate one of those and then use the other one to drop the objective.
Okay, sweet. So Nazis run in. Chuck takes out Betsy and Maria and bang bang, aims at one of them. And
he's just gonna mosey on down there and just start like ripping the heart out of the guy's chest.
Nice. Very good. And as the Nazi drops, you can see, there's a hallway, and looks like there's moonlight at the end of the hallway. So that's probably the right way to go, which means the objective goes down from 5 to 4 as you work to find your way out. And then finally,
Chuck isn't as refined as Abigail, so he's just messy with his blood sucking.
Right. He just does it He just does it up close and personal. He doesn't need dishware or anything like that. Yeah. They're different, but that's
Abby
what makes
gives
it
him a
great
little
team.
a little cheers.
So Astrid, now that you are up out of your coffin and these Nazis are a-coming, what does Gemma want to do with these babies?
Well, she sees her friends taking care of their things and having the best time. And she sees Chuck and she's like, that's a bit messy. And she's like, but I like your style. The thing about Gemma is that nothing about her is clean. Like everything about her is grimy, gross. She kind of smells like the earth when she walks by. And she's like, and she is going to, I would also like to feed.
Okay. So that's in there. What skill is she going to use here for her action? It doesn't have to be attacking. It can be like, does she want to like scare one of these guys away with Terrify?
So what she's actually going to do is she's gonna pop, and she's gonna, hop over whatever's in her way, and she's gonna grab one, and she's gonna, and it's gonna be very tongue in cheek for her, but she's just gonna go, boo. And when she does that, her eyes kind of like, it is like terrifying.
Yeah.
And when she does this, like all of these things on her body kind of pop out. And I won't say that they're identical to all animals, but we've got like all down her arms, like tiger stripes. Across her face is like, leopard, prince, and cheetah. Any kind of animal.
Right. So the spirit of these animals, these spirit fetters, like won't reach out at the same time. So we're using 4 for Terrify. Do you want to use one use of spirit fetters there?
I do.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
And
you got some stuff that would activate on a special too.
I do.
So that puts you at 5. There aren't any animals around, although you said there are animals in your tattoos and stuff like that, which I kind of like. So why don't you roll 5 and then you get 3 pluses if there are animals involved. So we'll say this time roll 8d6 for me, and I'll roll 3 for them.
Right? There were pelts of like animals.
Yes, there were. So you just like put one on.
I'm like, and I like as I do this, I grab and I look over at Abigail and I'm like that and boo, like very.
Yeah.
And so
shopping trip mixed with food court. Yeah, right.
So 5, correct?
Well, you have 5. If this involves animals, it would be 8.
Okay.
Roll 8d6.
Okay.
Let's have fun.
Yeah.
Let's do things. Hachi-machi. That is 3 crits in there. So that's automatically 6, and then another success, which makes it 7. You have some specials in there, so you can use your special abilities if you want, which means you can either reduce a threat rating or reduce all of my attack die. But let me roll those first. They have 2 successes, so you could use your special to say they have none.
See, I kind of want to do my Apex Predator. I want to reduce this.
Okay, that's totally fine too. Yeah. So you have 7 successes.
Great.
And so you use 2 of those. to reduce the threat rating by 3.
Correct.
So the threat rating for these guys has gone down. You cut it in half, basically, and if it goes to 0, they die, but then more guys come. So you cut it in half. You still have 5 successes left. What do you want to do with those?
Well.
They have 2 successes also that you can negate with 2 of them.
So I can just do that. Okay, then that's what I'm.
You can just say that that they were so scared that they were going to shoot you, and that negates their successes if you spend 2 to get rid of their 2.
Then that's what I'm doing. 1,000%.
Okay, great. And that means you have 3 left. So you can drink blood. You can lower the objective. You can.
So the objective this scene is to get out of here, correct?
The objective is to find your way out of the Grand Magazine Martin. The objective is currently at 4. So you're making good headway.
Okay. I'm going to drink blood.
Okay, how much are you going to drink with the 3 you have left?
Okay.
You can have 3 blood. You can drink 3 Nazis and have 3 blood. You can just do 1. You can do 2. What about resource expenditure?
I'm going to drink all 3 because.
Okay.
Because I was reading.
So
earlier. So
you burst out of like a rack of furs and just boo, and a bunch of them like run to get away, and then you grab 2 of them by the hair.
And I'm gonna take them and smack them together to grab the
Yes,
third.
like coconuts. Yes, absolutely. The one in the middle falls down too, and then you just line them all up and drink.
Yes.
All
And
right.
It's not quite as messy as Chuck, but it's pretty close.
Right. It's efficient, but it's primal. Indeed. Okay, we are at the end of the round, which means that in this case, I would typically the GM adds reinforcements. So let's see. I'm going to read my reinforcements rules again, just so I make sure I have that all right. Yeah. Oh, okay. The balloon. I haven't figured it out yet. Okay, cool. So, what we're going to do is that all remaining threats increase their attack by 1. So the Nazis that are here, their attack goes up to 4d6, although there's only a handful of them left. And then on top of that, we don't have any threats reduced to 0, so we don't have any new people arriving. So each active threat's attack increases by 1 as they close in on you and steel themselves against these scary, scary vampires. And so they look like they're going to fight back a little tougher, but there's no new people. That's how we do it. Back to the beginning of the round, and we're going to mix it up. So I think Safi went first last round, so let's say Chuck goes first this round. Chuck, what do you do? There's a few of these Nazis left. You could imagine that more are coming at any moment.
So Chuck's he's gonna shoot again, but this time since he's got 1 blood, he's gonna spend 1 blood to also hack up his acid spit.
Ooh, okay.
So
yeah, it's pretty cool.
there you go. He'll run over towards one of them, and then a couple of them, and start aiming Betsy Maria.
Okay.
And also and then spit out that acid. So I
Excellent.
got shoot Betsy Maria
Oh my gosh.
and the acid. So that's
okay.
5
Fantastic. Well, so here's how this works out basically. These are sort of run-of-the-mill soldiers, you know what I mean? But they have machine guns and stuff like that. So what skill are you going to use here? You're going to use brawl or shoot?
I'm gonna use shoot. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna use shoot.
All right. So you got shoot. You are using Betsy and Maria. Yeah. So you get another die for that. That's 4 total now. And if you're aiming this acid at something that's
acid spit
metal,
at metal, yes,
like their guns, something like that, we'll give you 2 more. So that's 66 that you get to roll here. And now that they are a little bit stronger, I will roll 4d6.
Okay. Oh, good. Okay, roll the 1. So
Okay, you got a crit and 2 other successes, and you get a 1, which you want. They have 3 successes. You have 4. What does Chuck do?
Okay. I am going to only block 1.
Okay, and you're gonna take 2 damage on top of that.
Oh, in that case, I'll yeah. Well, no, I'll block 2, so then I only take 1 damage, and then the other one I'll use to lower the objective, since I did take out a machine gun.
All right, so you do lower the objective by reducing their guns by spitting acid at them. That makes sense. Objective goes down to 3, but also one of them manages to get a shot off on Chuck. Chuck, roll me a d6. A 4. That means that they shoot you. They shoot Chuck in the leg, which gives him a limp. It doesn't give him any mechanical detriment or anything at this point, but next time if he takes another shot to the leg, it will. So basically, they get one off in the knee.
That's all right.
Basically,
that's all right. Just a flesh wound.
And then another one holds up his gun and realizes that it's been disintegrated into parts and stuff. Okay, next up after Shark, let's go with Abby again. Abigail.
Abby is going to duck back to her drop coffin, and she reaches inside for an exquisite antique Carcano rifle with a scope. It's filigree on all the bits of metal, and in the stock is the name Jacob lovingly engraved with hearts and flowers and stuff around it. She heads higher up at one of the upper levels, and she takes up a sniper position, and I'm going to shoot.
Sweet. So up the stairs she goes. She shoots. That's 3. She is using her exquisite hunting rifle at an elevated position. That's 2 more, bringing it up to 5. Are you going to do anything else? These are beautiful surroundings. If you want to use your dark glamour and spend a blood.
Ooh, that's a good idea. Yes. Oh my God. So she gets up high and elevated, dark glamour to keep her target still, and then she pops them off. Yeah.
I love that.
Like Galadriel.
Yes. So that's another one on top of that. So that's 66 from you, 46 from them. Oh, look at all those crits.
Oh my God.
I have 2 successes. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 successes. So right away you can get rid of those 2 successes that I have if you want to have 6 left. Okay. What do you do with your final 6 successes as Abby in her visage slows combat to a halt?
I will help advance the objective. I have 6 successes, right?
Yes.
6 left. I'll advance our objective by 3.
Okay.
And then I'll use the remaining 3 to eliminate threats.
Okay. Absolutely wonderful. Tell me how you stop this combat, because basically you have gotten to the objective of finding a way out of here.
So like I said,
however you like.
She heads to the uppermost.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, Susie, I lost your ears. I cannot hear. Is it me? Is it my fault? Is it my problem? I can't hear anyone now.
I can't hear her either.
Oh, no. No, other people are back. All right, Suze. Susie has a plan.
I can still hear you.
I can hear you. Hearing. Yes. Only Susie, I'm having troubles hearing. No. Mm-mm. All right, Susie. I'm going to explain this for you so you have time to figure that out. Basically, what happens is that Abigail ascends to one of the higher levels of the magazine and comes out in this glorious visage. And the Nazis that are left just bang, bang, bang. takes them all out, and one of them is like gasping for breath, and she just like sort of like glides down and grabs them and says, which way to the street? And he's like, that way. And we are out of this encounter. You have achieved your objective. Now, you follow the hallway down, and you emerge onto the street, and there, left running, is the armored car that these guys arrived in, which is yours for the taking should you want to. Otherwise, you can decide where you want to go next, and I can give you some options.
I'm not much for a car. Does anybody else know how to drive?
So I can't do a Scouse accent at all, but you can imagine it. And she's like, I mean, obviously, like, and she's like, yeah. So she's like, I mean, I'm assuming we find a car, like.
It's sitting there. It's the car the Nazis brought. It's still running. Keys running the ignition, and it's armored.
Too easy. All right, like. She's like, opens the door, and she looks over at Susie and Abigail and Nicole, and is like, ladies first. Like, she's just so nice.
Good manners.
Yeah, Abby slides in like a movie star. Like, there's not a hint of awkward movement. She's straight in the back.
Yeah. Just like doesn't even flinch at being the door being held open for her. Of course not. Just slides into the car.
Chuck's looking for guns if there are any kind.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Chuck, what kind of gun is Chuck looking for?
Oof. I want a submachine gun.
SMG, yeah, I knew that was coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me double check my loot stuff here. But yes, in the back of the car, there is a submachine gun. I have to look up the details on it, but yeah. I'm going to give you yes, is good. Let me see. I just had that open. Where'd it go? So a submachine gun, you add this to your loot. Chuck, you have it in your possession. Anybody else who wants a gun, just let me know. So here are some sort of mechanical terms for what's going on here. With a submachine gun, you have 3 uses of it, and you add an additional die if you are flanking with another ally. The armored car also has 3 uses if you want to use that to run down some Nazis. And it has an extra die if you use it while you are under heavy fire. So whoever's driving, I'm guessing it's Gemma.
Me. Yeah.
You can add that to your loot. If you are looking for those specific details, they are on page 40 of the game manual guide book, rulebook. So feel free to add those details as you want. Does anyone else want anything out of the trunk of weapons?
Like a pistol.
All right. Yes, there is a pistol. 3 uses. Is it on page 40 again? 3 uses, and you get a bonus for being in close quarters.
Okay.
Just like Nicole did when she walked out of the elevator.
Don't take these shitty guns. If you wanted one, I could have fucking given you one. Easy.
You are all climb into the car and you drive off. I'll give you a choice of where you guys want to go next. You know from your intelligence that you've gathered around Sector 1, in which you are. You know the 2 places that are easiest to reach from here are either San Medard Church, which you could drop in on, or you can head to the metro station. And the metro station runs between Sector 3 and Sector 2. So that could help you get to the next place. But there might be something useful at the church as well if you want to stop there. What do you think? mean, at this rate, you can also drive to Sector 2 because you have.
Yeah, so that's what I'm gonna offer. But I do have a question.
Yeah.
So, I have an ability that is
Mhm.
called Blood Hunt.
Okay.
Is that is something that I can only use? What I would say, like in.
What does it do? Let's do it. What does it do?
Okay, it says mark blood, track targets,
Okay.
or search for things using your sense of smell.
Okay, so you spend blood,
Okay, yeah.
right, to track down a target or something. What is Gemma looking for? With her head out the window like a dog.
Like yes. Like, she, I think, no, I will say it does say in parentheses plus target fleeing. So is this strictly
Ooh.
like?
So if it says plus target fleeing, that means you get an extra die if the target is running from you actively.
Oh, that's fun.
Every plus is another die.
Okay, cool. I think because of our intelligence, I'm just trying to make sure that we're not getting lost, like that we're going.
Sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, your main objective, of course, is eventually to head toward the Eiffel Tower, and that's easy to find. It's just a matter of covering the distance to there. But yeah, I would say when you're this far away, here's what I'll say with that is that as you pass by Saint Medard Church, you smell a number of Nazis inside, but nobody of any great importance. As you near, let's say, the metro station, you can smell a couple things. You can smell more soldiers down in the station itself. And also you smell the smell of gasoline down there, which is strange. I mean, you can smell the trains, obviously, but there's some sort of gasoline-powered
Something.
vehicles down there as well.
Okay. All right.
So does anyone have an idea of where you want to go next?
I think the metros might be a good idea because, like, we could drive there, but we're probably gonna get spotted pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's up to you.
And
So
attacked a lot.
you can drive there and go through the tunnels. You can stay on ground and start making your way towards Sector 2 and see what happens.
Is
Yeah,
there any
maybe-
way to like stash the vehicle?
Yeah, absolutely. That's no problem. You could find a place to leave this vehicle, or we'll say that this particular metro station has a wide staircase
Yes.
that you could
Nice.
drive down into and onto the tracks with some good driving that will be resolved in rolls.
Okay. Yeah.
You want to do that?
Okay.
Good.
Let's
Good.
do it.
Hell yeah.
Okay. So we see this wide marble staircase leading down into the metro. There are some lights from down below, but Paris itself is dark and moonlit. And we see this armored car come around the corner and just like we see Gemma behind the wheel, but also kind of out the window.
Yes. Very like
Uh-huh.
like
Yes.
like that.
What a cool way to compare your vampire
Hey, yeah.
to someone we know is that you're a pet detective. Yeah. Right. So you sniff and you said and you're like, oh, down there, and so you hear the engine rum 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 rum, and you like put it into gear and you go down into the metro station, and there, with very surprised looks on all of their faces, are two sets of armored infantry soldiers. There's two of them. They're sort of standing either side of the platform where the trains would arrive, but then a car, boom, down in front of them.
Seatbelts on. Like she's like, everyone hold tight. Like, and
Yep,
she drops
and-
down.
Sweet. So
Flag
what we're
down.
going to do is we're going to start this round. I think Gemma's going to go first.
Okay.
Right? So, Gemma, you are piloting this car down here, but also maybe trying to, hit a couple of these guys maybe at the same time?
As many as
Okay.
I possibly can.
Your objective here in the metro tunnels are to get through the tunnels to Sector 2. It is an objective of 10. So that's the number that you need to wipe down. These armored infantry squad babies, they're a little bit tougher than the last guys you saw. And they are a threat of 6, an attack of 3, but they also have a challenge of 1, which means they'll soak up the first success that you put against them to reduce their threat. So they sort of like have resistance to losing threat. That's who you see. So there's 2 of them down there. And what does Gemma do?
Okay, so there's only 2 bodies, is what I'm hearing, or 2?
No. 2
Okay.
squads. So
Got it.
we'll say that there's maybe 10 each, but really numbers aren't as important as like,
Perfect.
oh, there's 2 different entities. Let's kill them.
Okay. So I am whichever ones I can find that are the closest to the vehicle, that's where I'm going. I'm just like
Okay.
exploring it. Like,
Yeah.
we've made it down. It was a bumpy ride.
Yeah. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah.
And I just like start laughing kind of hysterically, and she just like floors it. Like she's like
Excellent. I love this. This could be a brawl because you're driving a car into them. It also feels like maybe a terrify. But you tell me what skill you want to use, what stat you want to use.
Brawl to me makes
Mhm.
more sense, although I'm sure it absolutely would be terrifying to see a car come in at you. Or
Brawl
an
makes more
armored
sense.
vehicle.
You're right.
Yeah.
That's 3 to brawl. You are also
Okay.
using the car,
Mm-hmm.
and using that gives you 1 more.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll say that they're about to fire at you, so you get another 1 for being under heavy fire.
Okay, great.
So that is 5.
Okay.
Is there anything else you wish to use?
Not this turn, no.
Okay. All right. So armored car under heavy fire. Mark a use of that armored car. So and then rolling 5d6. Both of them are equal in stature, but we're gonna say you're rolling against one of them. So they roll 3d6.
Oh, okay.
You take whatever's the highest. It's 3d6. Okay, I have 2 successes. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 successes. So, do you want to negate their 2 successes right away and have 5 left?
Yes. And,
Okay, cool.
I am. Ooh. Okay, yeah. I'm going to use 2 and negate that, but I'm also going to. I want to reduce the threat rating again.
Okay, so remember they have a challenge of 1, which means that the first will be negated. So keep that in mind, but you can. You've already used 2 of them. You would have 2, 4, 5 left. So you could reduce their threat rating down a little bit, but it would cost you an extra 1 of the 5 that you have left.
It's okay. I'm gonna do that. I think it's
Okay, so you're going to reduce the threat rating by 1 on this guy. How many do you want to take it down?
well. So if I use my special, it says it's
Oh yeah,
by 3.
yeah, absolutely. Specials. I would say that a special goes past the challenge rating here, so you don't need to spend an extra on that. We'll say that this armored infantry group 1, their threat goes down to 3. As you mow a couple of them down with the car. And that is using 1 of your specials, which means that you have spent 1, 2, 3, 4. You have 3 left. What do you do with the remaining 3?
Oh my god.
Yeah. You can grab someone out the window and like a drive-through and get some blood.
That's exactly what
You
my
can
brain
reduce the
went, but,
objective by seeing if
Okay.
there's a way to drive onto the tracks. Also,
I will do that because everybody is in
Okay.
the car with me still. So if I can
Mhm.
manage to do that, then
so do you want to take the objective down from 10? How much do you want to take it down?
can I just use like whatever I have left?
Yeah, you can use all 3 to take it down to 7 if you want.
Yeah, I'm absolutely
Sweet.
doing that.
Okay, so you take the objective down to 7 as you sort of like plow through them and jump onto the tracks in this armored car. as they continue to try and fire. Let's go to Nicole. Safi, where's Nicole in the car? And what does she do as you plow through this field of Nazis?
I imagine she's in the front passenger seat.
Yeah.
And
Shotgun. Yeah.
literally, she's gonna have a cut down the Enfield,
Excellent. Excellent.
leaning out the window. She's like, "I'm sorry, the boss wasn't running," and then just like going back as she's going past them.
As you go past them, sweet. So this sounds like shoot. That's 4. You're using your Lee Enfield in close quarters as you drive past. It's a subway station, right? It's a metro station. Okay. So that is 6 total now. Is there anything else you want to apply here?
I'm good.
Okay. Roll 6d6.
I figured out.
I will roll 3.
Yeah, it's not really that close quarters, so I mean.
Well, hold on. No, they have 0 successes. I rolled 3 3s. That'll come into effect later. But you have 2 successes. So what do you do with those 2? You can reduce the objective. You can reduce their threat a little, not very much. You can suck some blood, like a drive-through window, if you want.
I think I used those 2 to reduce the objective.
Okay, reduce the objective by 2, so you basically help clear a path onto the tracks and keep them from chasing after you. So the objective goes down to a 5 as you plow through this station. Chuck, you are up next. Oh, wait, I forgot. Sorry. At the end of the round, they had 0 successes. And what that means is their attack, both of these squads, their attack goes up by 1 each. So they sort of regroup. They say, okay, instead of rolling 3 now, they're both going to roll 4 whenever they're under attack. So, Chuck, these guys look more determined now that they've been driven past, but you still have a chance to attack them if you'd like. What does Chuck do?
Yeah, so Chuck's out of one of the windows with the machine gun.
Yeah.
And he's just trying to mow as many of them down.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to use the submachine gun. I'm going to use shoot. So that's a 4.
Yeah.
And we're in the armored car. That's 5.
Yeah.
And we're under heavy fire, right?
I mean, yeah, technically, Gemma used the armored car.
Oh, okay.
Right. So I don't know if we could have both of you use it.
I was just thinking,
since
it offers us some protection, I thought maybe.
It does. Yes, that's true. I'll say, yeah, sure. Why not? Yeah, you can use the car. Okay, so what's your total now?
That's 6.
It's 6. All right, and I'm going to roll 4d6 for the other party, the other side.
Right.
I rolled 3 successes, and you also rolled 3. But you got a 1 in there.
But I got a 1, so I got my blood, which is good.
So some blood spray you catch.
Yeah. No, I do have an injury, but I can't get rid of the injury until I have 3 blood.
3 blood. You can always spend 3 blood to reduce your injury.
Or unless somebody wants to transfer that blood to me. I mean, that's.
You can share blood between folks too. You can say, "Here's a vial of school teacher or whatever." Right? I don't know. Here's an 1874 colonel.
Well, I mean, since I have only the 3, I don't want to get another injury, so I got to use the 3 to defend myself.
Okay, so yeah, that's
back
it.
into the car.
You break even with these guys, and that's that.
Sorry, guys.
Abby, you are in the back seat like a movie star.
Mm-hmm.
What does Abby do as you drive through this metro station and leap down onto the tracks?
Well, seeing as we're still currently in the car.
Yeah.
Could I? I would like to use my magic cavalry saber out of the window. Could we use being in a moving vehicle as a charge? Because it is moving quite fast.
Susie, I'm very strict when it comes to rules, and so yes, you can, of course.
Marvelous.
great.
So Abby, she has a book of poetry that she's reading in one hand, and she's like sticking the saber out of the window, so she's not even looking. And so just
just reading French poetry as you drive past. Okay.
Yeah.
What skill is Abby going to use here?
I guess it would be a brawl for the sword.
I think so. Yeah. I think brawl works with your magic cavalry saber, and it's a charge. So that is 4. Do you want to do anything else?
No, I can't.
Okay.
I don't have any blood, so I can't use any abilities.
Sweet.
So
All right. So roll 46, and I'll roll 3 and see how they do. Ooh, that's 4 successes for you, and 2 successes for me.
Okay.
So if you want to defend, you have 2 left over after you negate my successes.
Yeah. I'll defend. I'll absorb 2 of those, and use 2 to 1 to reduce the enemy, and then 1 to help advance.
Okay. All right. 1, the objective goes down to 4. Now, with the 1 you spend on the enemy, their armor blocks it, so their threat stays where it is.
Okay.
But the objective is now set at 4. You peel off. We're going to say that for the time being, these armored infantry units, you can still hear them behind you, and you could pop off some shots that way, but you're kind of clear until in the echo of this tunnel, you hear this rum, 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 and out of a side tunnel comes a squad of Nazis on motorcycles pursuing you. This motorcycle squad has a threat of 10 and an attack of 3. However, all of you get the following special when you're engaged with the motorcycle squad. If you ever roll a 6, you can use this, which is called Crash and Burn, which basically means you're going to make them crash and they take 3 damage to their threat. So, you always have that special if you roll a 6. All right, we are back at the top of the round. We are going to I'm going to roll a d4 just to see who goes first. 2. That's Gemma. That makes sense because Gemma is driving the car. So Gemma, you are behind the wheel. What do you do? There's a bunch of motorcycles behind you.
I was saying they're
got little
behind
sidecars. Yeah.
Okay, great. So assuming that the way is clear, I am going to keep going really fast. I'm gonna make them speed up to catch us.
Okay.
But what I would like to do is when that happens, and they do, I imagine they will catch us. They're going to catch up to us. Any of them that are behind me, I'm slamming on the brakes.
Okay, so you're gonna do like the whole like.
Yeah, like. Yeah. Just, boom.
Psych them out. Great.
Like
I love
Red
this.
Rover when you were a kid. It sucked. Like.
Yeah, exactly. So, what skill or stat do you want to use for this? Could be brawl.
Brawl is probably what I'm gonna stick with.
Okay. Brawl is 2. The car gives you 2 more because you're under heavy fire from these guys.
My brawl is 3.
Oh, your brawl's 3. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong sheet. Yeah, 3. Okay. And the 2 was 5. Do you have anything else you want to use here?
Not yet. Nope.
Maybe if there's a special. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll roll 3d6s for these motorcycle boys. They have 2 successes. So go ahead and roll yours. Ooh, you got a crit. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes and a crit. If you want to reduce one of their threats by 3, you can use the Crash and Burn special as from your crit. Or you could just use it for something else.
So I'll do that.
Okay.
But because so then how many do I have? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So when that happens though, I also just want to open the car door to any that might pass and just boom, because it was crit as well, flavor wise. And then I would like to
you have 3 left after that.
I know.
Motorcycle squad threat is at a 7 now.
Is it? Okay. And then I will. So I have a question. My unnatural endurance, it says reduces the GM's attack by 3. Is that only on my turn? So if I'm like
that is only that is permanent. Reduce their threat by 3, but also you've already used that for crash and burn. You've already used the special.
Okay. I was just curious if I could double
A little double dip.
Okay, then I'm going to then use everything to not everything. I'm going to use all but one. I'm going to advance to objective, and then I want to feed on Nazi blood. So the one that I smashed with my door open, I just pull them in.
Okay, so how much are you reducing the objective by?
I have 5, correct? I used crash and burn, so that puts me at 3. So I'll use 2 and then 1.
Okay, 2, and then you drink 2 blood. Is that right? Is that how many blood you're drinking? 1 blood. Okay, cool. All right, and so you absolutely like slam the door into this guy, grab a few, drink him up. The objective's now at 2, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a break right there. We are gonna go to a little mid-show break. Then we're gonna finish off these Nazi punks and fight our way to the Eiffel Tower eventually. Everybody stay where you are. We'll be back in 10 minutes with more mayhem. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everybody. We've stolen an armored car from some Nazis being driven by vampires in a subway tunnel, and we're being chased by Nazis on motorcycles. So we're just going to get right back into it because Hitler's blood isn't going to drink itself. Nicole Nicole has commandeered this armored vehicle and driven it onto the tracks. She's just had a turn. What I want to know is who wants to go next?
It was Gemma who just went.
Oh, sorry, Gemma. Sorry. Yeah. So, sorry, Nicole. My apologies. Who wants to go next?
I don't mind going there. I've got a fun
All right,
idea.
Abigail, backseat, sword out, reading poetry.
Yeah, well, she's finished that. She's read it maybe 6,000 times before. She knows it off by heart. She put a little book away. She's going to open the door and look back at one of these motorcycle riders. And from his POV, it's going to punch in like a movie, black and white movie. Strands of her hair have come loose from the braid flapping around her face. Her eyes have they're wide and there's like a little tear action. She says, "Don't let me fall." And then she's gonna jump at him and try and she's gonna con him, basically charm him into catching her.
I fucking love this. Okay, so this is definitely a con roll.
Yeah.
And are you going to be using anything else as you con him into catching you? Any weapons or anything?
No, tragically.
Okay. All right. Well, you've got a 4 in con.
Yeah.
So
let's roll those
roll 4d6. How do we do?
4.
Ooh, that is 4. Let me roll for these guys. They are still at 3, these motorcycle boys. They have 0 successes. So the objective is at 2. But you can finish the objective and finish these guys off with those 4 if you want. How do you want to do it?
Yeah, so she jumps at him and he's gonna catch her Princess Carrie style. So she's in his lap.
Right.
And she's gonna look up at him with a soft, tender face before she rakes her claws across his neck and then drinks.
Yeah.
Oh no, wait, that would use up all my things. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No,
Objective 2.
Objective 2.
Bite him 1. Yeah. So you can get 1 blood from him, and whatever you want to do. So he was the last guy on a motorcycle, I think.
And then I just drop his body off the back. And as his body drops, I'm gonna get a match out and strike it across the webbing of his armor and light a cigarette. So I'm on a motorbike with the cigarette.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic. Also, this technically, if you want to use the equipment, cigarettes taken from pockets of hanged men, he's dead, right? So you could mark one of those and gain 2 blood if you want.
That's what I will do.
Okay, cool. So you drink this poor sucker's thing, and Abigail is also now on a motorcycle, side saddle probably, just being great. Yeah,
because that's how it works. Yeah, that's how you ride them.
Right, that's how motorcycles work. And you all proceed down the tunnel, and we're out of this objective order, but the tunnel continues for a long way up until the point where there's something large blocking the exit out into the night air, out into the open. And you spot it a long ways away, and as you get closer, you realize that it seems to be a subway car, or was a train, but the center of it is like missing. And you can't really drive through it, so you all have to sort of come to a stop and decide what you want to do next. So you're all stopped in front of this subway car.
Can I jerry rig an explosive in order to blow up our car so that it could damage whatever is in our way?
What's your fix score?
My fix is 4.
Yeah, I think absolutely. You don't even need to roll. So you can like set about doing that while the others sort of stand back and just sort of have a moment to breathe, have a moment to rest. Chuck, what you see is as you walk closer to this subway car is that it's not that the center of it is missing, it's that the like core of the train car has rusted away. It's almost as if it was in motion on this track when part of it was eaten apart and it sort of like crumbled. So now it's just like two ends and a pile of rubble metal in the middle. And that's, you just sort of make a note of that.
There'll be some sort of monster in here, maybe. A Nazi monster. I'm gonna hop onto the train to see.
Okay. You jump onto the train and sort of look up and down the cars, and even on the inside, a lot of the handrails, seating bars, stuff like that, have decayed. They're all, if they're not like pocked with rust marks, they're just dust.
No, can't make heads nor tails out of here. I have a search of 2. I don't know if that will.
You don't really have. I mean, you have a mini objective here. If you want to make me a search roll,
Yeah.
you can see if you find anything else. Yeah. Not much else to be found here. But you can keep working on those things, on the explosives. The others, I imagine, are at a distance as Chuck sort of jerry rigs this explosive device. Let's say that you're having a conversation, the three of you, and I think you're all talking about your most memorable kills as of late and what they tasted like. So who do we find talking about someone they've killed recently? Oh, Holly, I can't hear you if you said something.
I know.
Okay.
Recently, like as in like in
As you know, just like one that you remember.
okay. So we just talking about those
Just
other
shooting the
times
shit.
Yeah, that we drank Nazi blood. Okay.
And the unique flavors of the blood that you've tasted.
Okay. I'm gonna need like a 2-second interval here to really think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I would definitely be talking to like Abigail and Nicole probably about this one time in which we were fighting Nazis and we did what we needed to do, and we ultimately fulfilled our objective, but it was what I would consider to be the last, not the final boss, but like one of the last guys, like the bodyguard of the final guy or whatever. And it reminded me of what it kind of okay, this is I hope this isn't grossing anyone out. So it kind of like in my mind fizzed like it was champagne. Like I'm rough
Yes.
around the edges, but I like nice things. So like
Mhm,
I
mhm.
recognize that, but I do and I was like it reminded me of that moment when you take that first sip of champagne and the bubbles kind of like get to your nose a bit and you're like, ooh, like
Mhm, mhm. I think later you realized that they had like shock baton weapons and
yeah.
stuff like that, which may have contributed to the taste. That it was
Yeah,
kind of like tickly and weird.
perfect.
Yeah.
You know,
What about the others? What did Nicole and Abigail share? Oh, Susie, you're muted, my friend.
Very good at that. My apologies. Abby has a kind of a different bent on it. The most memorable blood she ever drank was not of an enemy. It was of somebody she loved. And so she pulls out this vial from around her neck and she says, this is the blood of the man I loved, the man who I lived with for a long time. It's strange. It tasted of tobacco. The damn pomade he used for his mustache every single day. Couldn't quite bear to finish him. And she sort of smiles fondly and like tucks it back in. And just
You just carry that around with you.
what?
Bit fucking morbid, mate. Jesus.
She sort of shrugs. I'm French.
we all have our rituals, right? Like everybody's got something.
I mean, my great aunt Petunia, she had the skull of her first husband. She kept that for 300 years.
And as you say that, she Gemma points to her hair, and there is like a tiny like little bone, like just vibing. Like all of her jewelry, you kind of when you look at her is very similarly made. But
It's
okay,
it's human to keep trinkets.
I mean, we're not really humans anymore. If you want to get into the nitty gritty of it, it's like you don't understand the whole carrying shit around with you. Like, yeah, it's their own.
At that point, Chuck comes over with kind of a makeshift fuse box for the explosives. Does Chuck have any ceremony or?
May wanna cover your ears, everybody.
Abigail says, Maman, Chuck, Maman. Nicole was just about to tell us about a most memorable hunt.
No, I was just gonna say, like, some of them, if you use the right type of grenade, like the right type of gunpowder in there, you just give such like a smoky barbecue flavor afterwards. Like, this is tasty, but you get like a nice bit of like oak smoked one in there. Sorry, Karen.
Chuck, do you have any anecdotes to share before you blow this thing?
I do remember once on one of these missions where knew the Nazis were some of the top Nazis were going to be in a movie theater actually here close to Paris, and sort of it was like a special night. All these German movie stars were in there, and then we just sort of locked them in there and blew up the theater. Nice little touch there. Nice warm glow. Very beautiful.
And on that note, with memories of blowing up a movie theater,
Go blow some more shit up, huh? There you go. Here we go.
All right, you inglorious bastard, let's go.
1, 2, 3.
You hit the switch and just poof. But whereas, when you blew up the movie theater, there was rubble and shrapnel and all sorts of stuff. This time there's an explosion, but then the train car just sort of like whoosh, like this orange brown dust as it just collapses into rust dust, and leaving you the path to go through if you want, either with the armored car or on foot.
Well, do you smell anything there? Oh,
Um,
do
that's a question for Gemma. Yeah,
Gemma. Any?
Do I?
Gemma, you can do a little sniff sniff if you want.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Okay, carried on the wind from whatever is up ahead, you smell sugar. You smell roasted corn. You smell hay, like hay, and then just over all of it, permeating everything, is this smell of oxidizing metal.
Well, ahead is things smell like food and metal. We can walk. Yeah. I mean, we'll put it to a vote. And she kind of looks at everybody. She's like, let's move.
Oh, wonderful. We're going to a fucking cannery.
So, you all sort of make your way out of the tunnel on foot. Is that correct?
Yeah. And as we're
And-
going,
Yeah.
Nicole's gonna notice, we're going over the last of these train tracks, and it's I'm assuming there's like puddles here from it being a leaky
Yeah.
and kind of
For sure. There's definitely some puddles of moisture.
Yeah. He's gonna grab that spare fur that Chuck picked up earlier, lay it down. But Abigail's like, Mademoiselle. And they try
That's a
and
good
shoot it over
fur.
her
Merci.
across.
Steps after.
Okay. So you do the gentle vampire thing and cover her path forward.
Yeah, getting her good books.
As soon as you emerge into the moonlight, you see ahead that you are directly adjacent to what appears to be an amusement park. There are still signs of